I know this is gonna be a bit funny, but I was going crazy, so I was forced to like pause my studies and we are fighting spiritual battles, so they are there to guide us and show us the way. Yeah.
We can relate having to wake up in the morning and drink lebot, which are ancestral food.
So I've always been myself, been proud of who I am because of these things, and all of that. So these things are about ring and all of that was like, but then what?
What are some of the misconceptions that people have about Inyanga, Sangomas?
They think we are witches. But it's Yatagata and all that. They are calling us names. Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Student Leadership Unplugged. My name is Nyakallo, the bulldozer. Dilenda bela lokonkwatla la go hloka nkomo la katla motho. So motho wa motho wa bomthanyelo go ba hloga naga. Naga se da ke bogolo ba ke se ke bogolo ba ka ba di thwala magetlene. And in this type of setting, I'm Mkhulu Nyakallo. Today we're going to be unpacking a very much sensitive topic, which is ancestrality, spirituality, which is a topic whereby most people, they've got a bit of a confusion as to what it entails and what it is about. And of course, I'm not alone. With me, I've got my fellow sisters who are my sisters in spirituality. I'm just going to give them a minute so that they can be able to introduce themselves. Thokozani.
Thokozani Lisedi Alekhanye Ndauwe. My name is Ompabaletse. I'm a second year student in Salt Lake University, and I am a traditional healer and also a prophet. So, yeah.
Thokozani Kamakule Sedekanya. My name is Rebaone Mukoto, and I am a first year in Salt Lake student, and I'm also a traditional healer.
Okay, thank you on that. Like they've already introduced themselves. Myself, I'm also a traditional healer and a spiritualist. A registered one, a practicing one. There are bogus ones who are not registered. So now, just to ease up tensions and everything, I want you to take me through your journey. What is it that led you into accepting your journey?
Okay, the thing that led me to accepting my journey is because of I had multiples of illnesses that caused me to even stop going to schools and all of that years back. So I had to go to twice because it was all a lot. So yeah.
Go.
I know this is gonna be a bit funny, but I was going crazy, so I was forced to pause my studies and so yeah.
So from what you both are saying, I hear the common denominator is ukuthwasa. If you can just unpack a little bit, what is ukuthwasa? Because there are some people who might be sitting at home and they've got no insight or rather a perspective or rather a view of what it is. If you can just, in 2 words, what is ukuthwasa?
Okay, ukuthwasa, it is before you go to initiate to an initiating school.
Yes.
Maybe you have to see your way and all of that, through dreams and all of that. So ukuthwasa, it is going to stay with your mentor and learning a lot of things like herbs, like bones and all of that, how to heal people with herbs and all of that. But there is also self-initiating, where a person it was like he or she does not need to go to a certain place
and have a mentor.
Yes, and have a mentor and all of that. They are showing him or her all of these things that he or she needs to do.
Well, that's That's powerful.
Yeah.
But then, like they've already said about their journey, I'm just going to give a little bit of insight about myself. Like I had already said, I'm a spiritualist. Our stories are almost the same. I mean, we don't just go through the process of intwas or an initiation school without having reasons. I myself, I was a little bit almost paralyzed. I mean, my left side was not working. Then I had to leave here so that I can be able to go do my ancestral things. And it's funny when I tell people that when I left here and when I was on my way to home, which is in Limpopo, Nabomspruit, on my way heading there, I was at Potchefstroom. That's when I regained I could feel my hand. It started to work. So now, I'm just going to ask a little bit of questions. If you can tell me, what role do ancestors play in our day-to-day life, and what influence do they have on how we engage within communities as well as student life?
As we know, so our ancestors are here to show us the way. But there are things they don't worry. We are fighting spiritual battles, so they are there to guide us and show us the way. Yeah.
Powerful. Yourself, Gogo?
Okay, in this ancestor thing, there is some illnesses that cannot be healed by, let me say, the medications from hospitals and things. So us being with ancestors, they teach us like many things of herbs and all of that. So ancestors being there, they also help us to heal other people in some situation.
Well, my take to that, from what I'm getting from them, ancestors are more of a bridge between the realm of spirituality as well as the realm of the living. For an example, most people go to consult people so that they can be able to have solutions, or rather they can be given remedies as to what is it that is troubling them. For an example, a person cannot just leave and be like, I'm going to go Reba, or I'm going to go Ompabaletse or Nyakallo in this context, without having a reason of having to go there. So I want to touch on one thing, because one thing that I've noticed, because I'm from an ancestral home and a spiritual home, I'm very much fortunate. My mother is a traditional healer and is a prophetess. That also includes my grandmother. So I want to touch on something which is an aspect that I've seen from my own personal experiences. People come at my home to get initiated. Some people, when they come, they've got no background whatsoever of ancestrality and spirituality. How was your journey? Did you have support? And do you think that the support from family as well as friends is vital when you're doing your ancestral, or rather you're pursuing your ancestral journey?
When I went to Twasane, my family was there for me. My father is also a prophet, but you know these things like batshabela dilo tsa bone. So so I had to be the one, I have to go there and tap into my ancestral memory. But obviously but I told myself, you know what, I went there to heal. And
powerful.
But then they are always with me. So I had support, and I think support it is very important, because the things that we go through, they are not easy. So yeah.
True. Gogo, what's your insight on that?
Okay, also the same on her story. I have like ancestors from my mother's side and also from side in Labo Papa. So being in this journey was hard for me, especially because of like I had to focus on school and also ukuthwasa and all of that. So I had a support from my grandmother, my father, and also my aunt. Because of my aunt, he's also a traditional healer, ukuthwasa and all of that. So I won't say that I did not have a support at all, because of like they were always there for me.
Well, viewers at home, you've heard it from the both of them, spiritualists as well as traditional healers. It is very much imperative that once one starts this journey or they embark on it, support is the most critical thing that they would need. Like Gogo has already highlighted, there's a lot of things that happens, and I'm just going to touch a bit on some of them. What are some of the challenges that you had to face? For an example, me, when I had to go home, I had to be away from school, and I missed quite a lot, or rather a huge number of classes, ample of them. And another challenge for me, it was having, because I'm a person who's being initiated by my mother. So now the problem was having to move from having to call her my mother into calling her Baba, which is a problem. And if you don't do that, there are other traditional healers which are govelas, some even more experienced than my mother. They've been on this journey for quite some time. The minute you are like, Ma, that's a fine that you have to pay. So for you, what are the challenges?
There was this other time, I think we are supposed to eat in a bowl. So this other time I was sitting there with my my friend. I call her my friend, but like nalene relationship she's my Gobela's
child.
Daughter, yeah.
Okay.
So this other time I was sitting in Renereja. Then she was like, Gog, don't you see who ojela moteng khaile? Ke re he bathong ba modima mena re go rileng gofa. So I had to go to the kitchen ke ntse dijo tse di le mole ke di tsenye mo bowlong ya bonkgono le botate bo bolo. And another thing, I had a problem. I would lo mo cousin close.
Yeah.
I had a problem. I would lo mo cousin close. So I was very shy. I was very shy. So my Gobela used to say, Gogo, ke kopa o khwaze le close, then I'll be like, yo. So yeah, ke dilonyana tse dinyane, but then as time goes, we learn and
you adapt.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Gogo?
So now the problem that I faced, nekilebala so much, and there is a thing that's called infilo. So there's this mat enikidula moyone, that's small one. So every time, as you're taught, how Emma wow mina wow tsaya wow basint wow emis. Now I always forgot him. I have haki Emma.
You have to fold it.
Go emis. I always left it like that. Then I give it go bido hote. Gog, onalim infilo. Infilo ya yini?
They've hit the mat.
So that was the problem that I always faced, Shim.
Well, with me, I think it's a commodity in most people. We can relate having to wake up in the morning and drink lebod, which are ancestral food.
Yeah.
And that's where you could see that we have maneuvered, or rather we have moved from the relationship of a mother and son to a Gobela and a peer, or rather a tutor. Because she would be strict.
Yeah.
She would be like, I can hear what time you woke up, as well as the number of times you went there, and I can also hear when you did not go out. So for me, it was a bit of a challenge even to wake up in the morning, because we wake up literally, for some it differs, some it's 3 o'clock in the morning, some it's 4:30 in the morning, and it's cold winter.
And for that point, you are not supposed to wear something that is long, that hides your knees. You have to go outside like that.
It's a challenge. So most people who have to start their journey, my advice to you is that you should prepare yourself mentally, physically, and psychologically. Then I want to also touch on another thing. Now that we are in an academic setup, there is often stigmatization that is there in terms of people coming from different backgrounds. For an example, I grew up in an ancestral and a Christian family whereby we do believe in the same. So when you came back from school, Gogo, because I find that, or rather I hear that you had to go home for the period of from January up until June, you came back around July. What was the stigmatization that you had to face, or rather some of the challenges that you faced? Togoza Gogo.
Yo, where do I start? Okay, first of all, I was supposed to wear my ancestral clothes. So I was always asking myself for but then as time went by, I was like, you know what, Eriki, I was like,
True.
So and another thing, I am struggling to find balance between my ancestral things and my schoolwork, so it's a bit difficult for me because I have to go home now and then to check if things are still okay at home. So yeah.
How's about yourself, Gogo?
And not to me, to be honest, I have never taken the so I've always been myself, been proud of who I am because of these things and all of that. So these things are about the ring and all of that was like but then what? Yeah.
Well, for me, I think the stigma comes from colonization.
Yeah.
Remember, at the end of the day, before you can be a Christian, you are a black person, you are an African. And it is within our DNA that our lineages run through us. So for me, I think the type of segregation I could say I faced when I came back and I had worn my beads is that when I got into class, I still remember it was a Tuesday and I had a lesson that I was attending. When I got into class, it was as if people are seeing a ghost.
Yeah.
Some would even move from where I'm seated. And like you are already saying, like you have already mentioned, some of the challenges that I face myself is because of I'm a practicing spiritualist both here and home, and you find that there are times whereby I have clients, some of them are critical, I have to attend to them, which poses a huge imbalance as to my schoolwork. Like Gogo Rebaone knows, we've been the ones who were helping out both on campus and off campus when students are getting into trance. So that's a bit challenging for me. That was a bit challenging for me.
It is also a bit challenging for me because you could wake up at 1 a.m. to hear that another student has it was like kupukile and all of that. So it was just.
So now let's take it a bit higher, or rather up the stakes. In your own perception, do you think that Black people, but then in particular young people, are reconnecting to their guides as well as ways of doing?
Judging by the way our peers are awakening now, yeah, they are reconnecting with our ancestors. But the honali bikinyana hela ba ileng gore ba setse ba latlhegile a ke tlogela gore ba setse ba latlhegile ke hela ga ba dumele mo dilong tse di tshwanang letse. But the way ke bonang ka teng no gona ithaka tsa rona tse dintsi go lwena wa bona ba bantsi gore re boela ko bonkgono le bontatemogolo ba tswang teng no re buletse gore o itse keng ha ile gore go a shuba go shube once.
Yes, I understand that, but not the way ke bonang dilo ka teng no yana like youth here today, most of the youth here today, yes, they are accepting their gift and all that, but I feel like they are doing the fashion show and all of that stuff. So yes, they are accepting their gift and all of that. Okay, then abafetsa banna lendomba and all of that. Abafetsa na lendomba baitswala. They just, I feel like in that point in indo tsa go like and all of that, I wanna be like that other person. Then after that,
Thokoza Gogo, so cool. I
Thokoza.
think another thing ke hore they are focusing more mo dilong tse leng hore ga di ba tswele mosola.
True.
Like groove, first of all
Yeah.
groove, dilo tse tsa go nna o ntse o ya kwa. They are focusing more mo dilong tse le go khankitla di ba tswela mosola, especially dingaka tsa rona tsa gompieno.
Yeah.
So I think ge batla tsama sentle mo tseleng ya bone ba bue le bonkgono le bontatemogolo ba bone gore ba bakele lesedi, then everything is gonna be fine.
Yeah, it is gonna be fine. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I concur with each and every single thing that you're saying. But then my take is that yes, they are reconnecting with their roots. But then it is a thing of wanting to be a popular. You understand? For an example, most of the things that we see that are happening on TikTok, social media, and everything, you yourself whom had went through the process of ukuthwasa, and particular having to be in a person's house for more than 6 months, 6 months to 8 months, or sometimes a year, you get to ask yourself, Uti, what is the Gobela saying when such things are happening? Because of it has to boil down to umthetho weshoba, which is something that governs, and it is the principles of Ugo.
Yeah, Thokoza.
Then another thing, I always tell people who come to me to consult, more especially those who are ancestrally and spiritually inclined, that this thing, it starts with you being disciplined. Because at the end of the day, I always say, "Sidimo wa ipopela."
Yeah.
If you're not going to have discipline and you're going to teach your guides that no, I want to do this and this and this and this, at the end of the day, they are going to like move a little bit and leave you, and at the end of the day, you're going to look like one of those false sangomas, prophets, and whatnot. Then another thing, I like the fact that you guys touched on the issue of self-initiates. I prefer people doing it that way, their ancestors having to do it for them, because of most people you would hear that they complain about Abu Gobela having not fulfilled what was required by them. But then at the end of the day, another disadvantage to that is that most people who are self-initiates, which is often called hore, they are amakengane. They lack discipline because of some of the things that you are taught through the journey of ukuthwasa. You are taught how to behave, how to interact with people, and how things are done. Some of the things you get to adapt and adjust. You're no longer the same person that you were. So moving forth, I want you to give a bit of insight as you guys are practicing. Both of you are practicing. If there is someone who wants to connect to their roots, what is the advice that you would give to them?
Okay. First of all, trying to be like udire dilo according to your tradition.
Yes.
You should do things the way your ancestors used to do them. I think like u check history ya go galona. Ne. O tshimolo o check history ya go galona o shebe gore ka dinako tsa mekete bana ba direng. Yabo a ke itse Ompabaletse, for instance, there are people by the they slaughter a goat or a sheep. So when as a person you wanna connect with your ancestors, okay, so after how is it go benang pepo, is it go tshela sneeze hati, or is it go lighta di candle le gore o khone go connect le bone, or is it go ya mabitleng o go bua le bone ya bone. So I think gore o checke history ya go galona is an easiest way in go go tla connecta le batho ba go galona ka yone le bonkgono le bontatemogolo ba go galona.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Gogo, do you want to add on that?
No, I don't.
Okay, just to add a little bit on what you're saying, I think some people, you find that they are from Christian-centric families, which sometimes it's often called bazalwane, bapolosho, born against and whatnot, and you find that the history, it was lost somewhere around the third or the second generation. I think it's very much imperative for people to go outside, find someone who's trustworthy, someone who's recommended. Do not go to people whom are influential on social media, because most of them are going to mislead you. Then they should be able to tell you about your roots, and at the same time, after them having to tell you, you have to go back to the elders within the family that I was told this and this and this and this, so that they can be able to confirm them. Moving forward, I want to understand, because there is a bit of misconceptions or other confusions. What's the difference between Inyanga and a Sangoma?
Okay, Mkhulu, according to my understanding, Inyanga is someone who doesn't have to go through an initiation. Ke motho e leng gore o bontshiwa lesedi ke bonkgono le bontatemogolo ba gagwe. Then a Sangoma is a person o e leng gore tshwanetse a ye initiation, but o connecta le sedimo sa gagwe ka dipina go betsa drum. That's why e bidiwang Sangoma. Ngoma, I think, is a person o e leng gore o connecta le sedimo sa gagwe. Exactly. Okay. Then that thing,
the
like
drums.
Ke fan go opela dipina o betse drama gore sedimo se tle se kgone go theoga. So batho ba ke ba ileng gore they have mentors, ba tshwanetse ba tsamaye, go to their gobelas and stay there for a period of time.
And to add on that, like most of the time you will find out like Sangoma iya gita, then Inyanga I lead.
Okay, that's when we're going to talk about amagedla, those are Inyanga. But also there are some who are Sangomas who are also Inyanga, because of within their gift. There is different types of guides or other ancestors. Some were amagedla, some were abangoma, those abagitayo, which is amasangoma basabi ngoma bayugita. Then some of them are church-based spirits. So in conclusion to what you guys were saying, I do agree with you. A Sangoma is a person who has to undergo a type of initiation. Then Inyanga is a person whom in most cases that doesn't have to go through the process of ukuthwasa. So now let's unpack it. We don't have to go deep into details because we understand that we are governed by umthetho weshoba. What are some of the ways that us as Isangoma, Inyanga, abathandazeli, and so forth, because spirituality is vast, what are some of the ways that we connect with the guides so that we can be able to communicate whatever message that is being portrayed to us, to the person who are coming, or to the people who are coming to us in terms of seeking spiritual help and ancestral help? You should base it on your own personal perspective.
Okay, for me, gore ke khone go tsosolosa ke tla go tsosolosa I have to go to the mountains, ke go rapela, I have to go to the waters, ke go connecta le sedimo saka, and magaga o itse magaga le teng, I have to go there le go dinageng yabo. And another thing, ge motho a tla mo gona, I think I listen to their guides, cause sedimo ha se tshwane. Ke tla tswa ke re okay, I'm gonna do this and this to that person. Then ebisa berek o find out gore okay, batho ba go ga bone ke batho ba ileng gore ba rata thapelo. Then ha ile nna ke tla maybe ke re ke thusa motho a teng, ke be ke le ka go mo thusa ka traditional herbs, e bitjwa ena taba gore ha e bereke. So I think listening to your client's guides is gonna help you.
It is gonna help. And to add on that, now I always do like letlhakeng. I don't know if it's letlhaka. That's helped me a lot.
Oh, myself, in terms of my practice, one thing that we are taught is bone reading, prophecy, then as well as African exorcism, which is a process of ukufemba. Some they say ukupula or ukupula. It's a very much sensitive procedure and process, and if it's not done with due course, it can leave a person in a situation whereby it's dangerous. It can even kill the person. So myself, here, because I had already mentioned that I practice, I consult people in terms of having to consult with them face to face, whereby I tap into the spiritual realm using my guides. I don't use bones here because of bones are some things that are meant to be in an indumba.
Yeah.
So one thing I can tell people is that there are different types of ways that people use, but then at the end of the day, you must do something or rather consult whereby you feel that you can relate. For an example, you cannot come to me then I say that I have to take you somewhere so that it's a private thing, whereas you don't even know what's happening there. What if I'm going to show you something that do not relate to you? And at the same time, I always tell my patients, because I don't like to say clients, that you should be wary of people that you trust with your journey. You should be wary with people that you entrust with your lives. And I would also advise them that after consulting, and if you feel like the things that I'm telling you, you don't know them, go refer back home. And if your family do not know, which is your immediate family, it can be your mother, your father, they don't know the things, rather go consult the second person and the third person so that you can hear other opinions. Then you will then be able to seek remedies from there. So now let's tap into the sensitive ones. What are some of the misconceptions that people have about Inyanga, Sangomas?
They think we are witches.
Siyaloya.
But it's Tarata in all that they are calling us names.
Well, with me, I agree. We are called all sorts of names. We are called witches. And I always tell people, even at church where I attend, which is ACES, ancestral and spiritually inclined students, that the minute you embark on this journey, one thing you should know that your name is going to change from being Nyakallo to being Mkhulu Nyakallo. But then there is going to be another name that is going to be given to you, which is Mulo Yumtagati, a witch. Then another thing is that most people think that we extort or exploit people. And then we don't even coerce people. For an example, there is a lot of misconception, particularly from self-initiates, which is amakengane, and people who are working with spirituality only, which are prophets, abathandazeli and whatnot, saying that our practices are very much expensive. For an example, you can't expect to come to me and you consult, then you expect me to give you herbs for 10 rand.
I never.
For an example, we go far. Some people even have to go to the likes of Mozambique, Venda, and other places to get herbs. We use petrol to get those things. We have to buy food along the process. And some of the meaties, or rather the herbs that we get, we have all this kanyiso for them. Take out a certain token. We cannot even pay 1,000 rand or something. You find that we go into other people's farms. We have to compensate so that we can get the herbs. So I think if people can be able to understand it from our perspective, that it is not about money, but then at the end of the day, I cannot go far and I cannot go to lengthy lengths so that I can be able to procure as well as acquire herbs that are going to help you. Then you expect me to make you pay 100 rand. At the end of the day, who's fooling who?
To add on that, Mkhulu, there's something people do not understand when we help them. So
So now, what is the lifestyle of a Sangoma in the modern days? Do you think that we fit in this modern time and days, more especially in the professional and academic space? Okay, let me just tap into it a little bit. For an example, there's a whole lot of young Sangomas, influential Sangomas, whom are paving a way. They are rather enlightening people as to what this journey is about. Then at the same time, I think most of you're told that, are you a Sangoma? Then you'd be like, yes. Then they're like, are you a Sangoma whereas you're clean? So as a misconception that a Sangoma is supposed to be someone who's deity analemanga.
Imagine.
So I think if people can understand that as time goes, we have to adjust. I mean, you can't find me in a professional setting. You can't find me in an academic space whereby I'm clean. I'm a hygiene freak. Then when I go to do my ancestral things, I have to tend to be a person who's unkept, who's not clean. So, Dingaka, let's be clean. So now, let's touch into this. I see that you guys are wearing different types of ancestral cloths as well as spiritual cloths, which are called what is it called? Ipiga. Can we touch on it? What's the difference between Inyanga and a prophet? Because I believe people who wear Ipiga are people who have the gift of rather spirituality, in terms of barongwa, some call it itunywa, which are people who are aligned with imiti emhlope, which are people who are aligned with amanzi, which are people who are aligned with iwasho. So what is the difference between the two, if you guys can be able to unpack it for us?
Okay, most like we are called double barrel.
Yes.
Because of Otama, Gabo Sangoma, Lebo Profit.
Yeah.
So most of the Labo Sangoma, it is most like Ridresa, the Taola, the Tlari, and all of that. Then most of the Labo Profit, it is where you find sometimes ba profito ba dirisa Bible. Go dirisiwa metsi, diwasho, do tse dintsi nyalo.
Okay. My perspective on that is that, like you said, we are double barrel, some of us. We blend both callings. For me, there are times whereby I would have a client. For an example, it can be that like you had already highlighted Umkoka, whereby it's almost the same as African exorcism, whereby I have to inherit and embody your problems, be it that you're sick. I have to inherit that. Then you find that a person is coming from far. I already inherit their sicknesses. Then sometimes it's a thing that when they call, I just see then there are things they start showing me them through visions. It can be dreams. Sometimes when I'm seated, I can just hear voices, which are ancestral voices, at the same time spiritual voices. Because at the end of the same, one thing we cannot shy away is that as a Sangoma, a healer, sometimes you blend both through consultations. It can be that some of the things you see them through bones, some they might not even be there on the bones. It is something that you had so that they can tell you some of the things. So I believe those who are at a better stake are those who are a blend of the two. And another thing, let's just talk about this. If you can separate callings, exploitation, as well as prophets, criticizers taking advantage of people, how would you advise people on that aspect?
Okay, my advice ke hore tsama go ka ditjweng teng. Tsama go ka ditjweng teng. Hey. O ska itlhaganela go dira dilo. Tse leng gore ga ba di kaediwa. Ne. O ska itlhaganela go dira dilo tse leng gore ga ba di kaediwa. Dula hatsi, connect with your ancestors. Ba botse gore okay bonkgono, what am I supposed to do? Ke ragalwa ke 1 2 and 3. Ke kopa lo mpontshe le sedi gore ke direng. O ska joela o botswa o re okay, I was shown this and that in my dreams, so that means I have to go twasa in. Then when you go there, wa go itlhopela gobela eno gore ga go ruta le dilo sentle, ga go ruta dilo according to what your ancestors want. Yeah, so retsa badimo ba gago o ska ba itlhaganela go dira dilo tse leng gore ga ba di bat.
Gogo,
to add on what Gogo said, like nakongwe ge le nna ke le gobela ke bona wena Gogo una le matla go mfeta kana ga ke ntse le ke tsaya tshono ya gore tla ke motswale o tlo ntlela ka mathata o tlo mponela so ka o tswala, so like it is better o ye go bontshitseng teng because of
just to add, if I can just sum it up, a genuine calling is supposed to work and serve a community. There are some people who would come to us, you find that they don't even have money. Then already when that person comes, my guides are able to tell me that, no, do not touch this person. But then that does not mean that they have to take advantage of that. Then when we talk about exploitation as well as fraudulence, that's when we're talking about people extorting people money as well as seeking influence. At the end of the day, we must be held accountable as spiritualists. We must be transparent as to what is it that we provide to people. And at the end of the day, it is very much imperative that as healers, as Sangomas, as prophets and prophetess, we must be registered. Because at the end of the day, there are some things that are out of our control. That's when you will be able to provide your practice number so that you can be on the safer side. Because at the end of the day, we can't shy away from the fact that government is intervening in such cases. And at the end of the day, there will be people who are sent your way in manners that are not good. Then at the same time, it boils down to you as a Sangoma, a prophetess and whatnot, that you should be able to differentiate between a person who's coming to you with a serious problem and a person who's going to cause harm to you. We shouldn't be chasing money, rather we should be serving people with integrity and honesty. And just to sum it up, I want to understand something. If you can just give a word of advice, what is it that you'd want people to understand about spirituality, things that they should be wary of in your own words as we conclude? To my viewers at home, just so that I can be able to help out. A real prophet is not going to text you on TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp and tell you that I saw this and this and this about you. Those are red flags. Run. If a person tells you that I can help you about this and this and this, run. If a person is going to try to influence you, that's an incorrigible healer. A true healer is going to wait for you to come, and after having consulted, they are not even going to force you into going through the process of acquiring herbs and whatnot. You are supposed to be the one who's supposed to come to them, and at the end of the day, do not expect them to run after you. At the end of the day, where I come from, they say that we work with a lot of people. Sometimes I will forget, so it should be on you. It's your responsibility to go after me so that I can be able to help you out through the process. And also, while I'm helping you through that, come back and give me feedback as to whether what I'm helping you or whether I'm making for you, is it working for you? Because at the end of the day, as a traditional healer, as a prophet, we have alternatives. We have A, B, C. If A is not working, we're going to try C, B, and C. And if I feel like I'm failing, that's where we talk about being open and honest. I recommend you to a person that I know that I don't work with such. So, in conclusion, be wary of the people that you trust. And I would like to thank you, my guest, for availing yourself, taking time out of your busy schedules. You might have been at home consulting people or rather studying because you're students. But then you came here so that you can give us an insight as to what is spirituality. Then another thing that I have to applaud about you, it is that you're able to give insights. To my viewers at home, if you have anything that maybe we did not touch on that you might be having questions on, or rather you want follow up on, do not be afraid to write and type in on that chat box so that we can be able to come back and touch on them. And if there are other things that you can recommend, say for an example, we come back on this type of setting, then you recommend that we should bring such and such and such to this so that we can be able to incorporate each and every single thing. From me, Mkhulu Nyakallo, le tebelelo ko nkwatla la go tlhoka go mo le ka ja motho. Ciao. Thokozana.